Hello and welcome to another edition of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem, a show where we answer your most pressing questions about the most recent episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved, which was Lady of the Dunes. All the questions we're answering today came from you guys via our BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page, our BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page, as well as directly on the video on
Bun.
Well,
that was
really
synchronized because it's gonna be weird because we're all over the place here. Wait, Ryan, you're right here. You're the coffee machine to me. I'm sitting next to a coffee machine. This is you.
I'm usually on. I'm always so directionally challenged.
Think of yourself in a regular postmortem shoot. That's where we are.
I always forget where I am.
It's not that hard. You're on the left side of the table.
I know. So I'm looking to my right. Yes.
Correct. And I'm.
Yes.
Hi, Ryan. Good to see you.
If we're split screening, yeah. Here we go. Hello, Shane. It's good to see you too.
Hi.
I fancy seeing you in my living room. Not my living room.
Yeah.
I'm in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Felt very weird to say that whole intro. You know, not in the studio. I'm in my bedroom.
Yes, as you can tell, we're not on our usual set today. In fact, wait, are you in your bedroom right now? You in your kitchen?
I'm in my bedroom. I've now brought I've brought the Bun community into my room.
I've been trying to find different corners of my apartment to shoot in all week for various things. We're all over the place.
For the variety, or just because you don't want to drive?
For the variety,
Sarah
I guess.
Insane.
No, I mean, I just don't. I thought about maybe shooting it outside.
Anyways, obviously, we are practicing social distancing in light of the coronavirus thing.
Physical distancing.
Is that the new terminology?
They're changing the terminology because they do want people to be social, but be social via the internet. You know, hop into those comment sections, hop onto those forums.
You know, the internet was originally conceived of to create connection, and now that's what we're depending on it for. So
that's true. Isn't that funny?
Ain't that funny?
Hope you're all dealing with this strange time in your own way. I do miss seeing people outside of my apartment.
I miss seeing you, Shane, even though I've stared at your face on a computer screen all week.
I've been FaceTiming quite a bit.
Non-stop almost, you would say.
It is nice to know that Unsolved is out there, giving people something to watch. We were also on SWAT this week.
And as always, you could catch us on Watcher as well.
So we just want to offer you some chuckles during this weird time. Fan art time.
Yeah, let's go to fan art. Okay.
Look at this one. That's us.
Yeah. How much of this is going to be you and I talking over each other?
I don't know. It's a good one. It's us. That's when we were. What season is that? I like when people put their little pens and pencils in it. And markers,
it's kind of almost like a calling card. This is from True Crime. This was some season art, and this comes from Instagram from Anisha.a. I will say I got some chubby little chipmunk cheeks in this, but I actually think it's kind of fun.
Look, I'm gonna draw us with my eyes closed and see how good I can do.
All right, this is definitely gonna be worth the time. I can't even see what he's doing, so I have no idea how dumb this is gonna end up being.
Yeah, sort of. Again, this was done with my eyes closed. Not bad. I gave you weird lip. Oh no, you know what? It's close. It's actually not bad. It sort of looks like abstract art, but...
Here's the thing. I feel like what you just drew looks nothing like me. That's what I think. I think...
I'll take a photo and send it to you.
I'm gonna look at this later, and it's just gonna be a stick.
I'm gonna take a photo and send it to you
with a
right
big
now.
Old head on it.
Well, it's about to finish sending. It did that thing where it gets like 90% of the way there. Yeah. God, that's frustrating. Well, it'll show up for you at some point, and then you'll have a fun little surprise.
I'm sure it'll be well worth the wait. Let's move on to the next piece of art, by the way, because that's what we were doing. There's another piece of art here from Instagram from Ellie Struggle or Ellis.
Ellie Struggle?
No, it's Ellie Struggle. It can't be Ellis Struggle. Ellis Struggle would be fun, but
either way, cool name. Ellie Struggle or Ellis Struggle.
This is a classic ghost hunting photo of us. It looks like Shane has his Osmo, the camera that always gives us problems on set. And
it stinks. I mean, it's good. Thank you, Osmo. It's question time. Let's talk about the Lady of the Dunes. Let's start off with Grahamtown from, by the way, my name is Charlotte. For the postmortem, are the Ghoul Boys staying safe and staying home? Thank you for blessing us with these episodes while the world burns. Also, I think that the victim's hands were cut off because because she either scratched her attacker, leading to DNA under her fingernails, or to avoid positive identification. What boggles me so much is if she knew the killer, why wouldn't her killer know that she'd had such extensive dental work and therefore might be easily identifiable? bowl. Anyway, love you both. Stay safe.
Well, before we get into that question, your photo just came in, and yeah, just as I suspected, not worth it. I look like a little goldfish. Anyways, back to this question, which took a hard left. Yeah, we're staying home. I'm trying to stay home as much as I can. That's our part right now. And remember, this is very important. Even if you're not showing symptoms, you may be asymptomatic.
What about the rest of it? I don't know. They cut off her hands. Fun.
Yeah. Well, we were wondering why they would cut off the hands. We thought maybe fingerprints would be an identifying mark, but however, I guess this is a great point. If the person was attacked, there's a high likelihood that this person would scratch said attacker, and that person's skin DNA would be under their fingernails, which is common in these kind of cases. So this could be that person getting rid of that. However, it does kind of seem sloppy for them to not get rid of the teeth, because dental is also something you usually get rid of. The whole case is just wonky. I don't know, just another thing that we really can't figure out, but a good point that the skin evidence is probably why the hands were removed. This comes from Grace Rutledge, #postmortem. Forensic science grad student here. Did they ever test the genes and bandana for hair/fibers or DNA? Obviously the genes were placed there, so if it was more likely than not that some of the perpetrator's DNA was on the jeans as well as their hair and some fibers. The answer to that is most likely I don't know, because I don't have access to those reports, but I would assume since this case has been ongoing and highly vetted and investigated over the past couple decades, you would think that they would look at the pants and investigate for DNA of any kind. So I'm gonna assume yes.
What if, when did this happen? 70s? Jaws time, so
yeah.
What, 76? Very funny to imagine 20 years after the fact, someone saying, the pants.
Yeah, like they just took the pants from the scene and just was like, I hate Levi's, toss them in the ocean. I'm pretty sure that they boxed those bad boys up and, you know, gave them a good looking over. But yeah. You know what? To Grace's credit here, a lot of people that we featured on this show in terms of the investigating staff have been idiots. So
that's true. Know. Plenty of them out there. Yeah, who knows? I'm sure it's been covered. We got, let's spin it on over to YouTube. In Jaws the novel, the reason the mayor leaves the beach open is because the mafia has interests in the real estate. Possible real-life connection?
Maybe. I mean, you know, Whitey Bulger was a suspect in this, so it's possible.
I've never read the novel, Jaws. Who is that, by Peter Benchley?
Yeah. Much more malicious intent behind the mayor in the novel. In the movie, he's like, yeah, well, in the movie, he's like, we gotta keep it open. 4th of July, where are they gonna throw their dogs? This is a summertime.
Mayor Larry Vaughn, he's a real son of a bitch.
Yeah, but even still, he's like, people love the dogs and the sun. And where are they gonna show their flag?
But, to be fair, I do like that in the movie, like 2/3 of the way through, I mean, granted, after several people have died, he's like, all right, I made a mistake, I goofed.
Hey, mulligan, mulligan.
Yeah. And he really plays it. But then I think he shows up in the sequel, he's like, let's open that beach again.
Yeah, I know. So, what are we gonna do? Cancel 4th of July 2 times? Here comes one. We'll do 2 Jaws questions in a row. This comes from Instagram from lame_remarks. What if Steven Spielberg killed her for sneaking onto the set? That'd be pretty jaw-dropping.
But is that a pun? He's dropping someone on the set of Jaws?
Well, yeah, I would say so. Yeah, that's obviously a pun.
I like that.
It's good. I don't think Stevie would have it in him. The man made E.T., Heart of Gold. How could he possibly ever murder somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, he's building life, with life being a friendship between a young boy and an alien.
Yeah, I can't see Steven doing that. Steven seems like a nice guy, very pink lips, and always wearing funny hats and saying action and doing this, and to get me Tom Hanks, get me...
You just gonna keep mentioning things that Steven Spielberg does?
Yeah. I'd like to make a film that Kubrick wanted to do, but then he died, and don't forget about Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, before you spiral further here, I'm just gonna go into another question. This comes from Instagram as well. This comes from Rinny_Maria_. if she was indeed the undocumented extra from Jaws, wouldn't at least someone working on the film, actor or crew alike, wouldn't they have recognized her from even just briefly working with her or whatnot? Hashtag postmortem, hashtag Bugara. That is a good point. However, I will say, you know, Shane and I were on a film set recently. We were on SWAT. And I gotta tell you, that was a hive of activity and, you know, lots of faces in a lot of different places. Also, Jaws, I don't know if you know this, was a very hectic shooting experience. They were over budget by months, not days, and they didn't know if they were gonna finish the film, so let's just say maybe security got a little lax.
Yeah, I think they were involving the whole town in that. It was like, hey, are you around? Would you like to be in a film?
Would you like to DP the film?
Yeah.
Because our funding just got cut. One of you want to
dress up like a shark? Are you a big robotic shark?
Inside Jaws, great documentary on Vimeo. Go check that out after you, of course, go to watch her.
I'll take one from YouTube. This is from Mia Grace, BuzzFeed Unsolved Network. I need to know if there's more backstory behind Shane disliking dogs. Also, why does Shane still look like a pretentious 60s artist? Thank you for feeding me quarantine content, lads. When I was growing up, I used to have nightmares of a big, angry, black dog. And it would always sort of be standing there growling. And then it would jump at me, and it would bite my face, and it would just start chewing.
It would bite your face?
Yeah, the dog always went for my face and just started eating it, and I didn't care for it. Oh, there was another time I was out playing with the kids in my neighborhood when I was also a kid, and one of our neighbors had this rotten husky, and the husky got loose, and it just started chasing me through the neighborhood. I don't think it wanted to play. It looked mad. And I ran into a neighbor's garage who I didn't know, and I said, let me in, and they let me in, and
It sounds like you let two dogs ruin your entire life experience with dogs. It made
you the other thing is I just, well, I just didn't grow up with them, so like in the same way that I didn't really care about cats before I got one, now I have one and I understand him, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're fine with me. If at some point, I'll probably get a dog.
Yeah, sounds great. I'm gonna move on here to Instagram. This is from Pamedith. This is about the case. For the post-mortem, sand can also help preserve a body. It absorbs fluid from the body, and without moisture, bacteria cannot break down the body. Also, the heat in sandy regions aids in drying and preserving. Maybe the body wasn't found right away because the sand covered it up. This is in reference to us wondering how a body could have been dumped there and left from anywhere from, I don't know, 10 days to 3 weeks without being discovered. This is actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, seems cool. Could be. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good explanation. I really don't have anything else to say other than I tip my cap if I was wearing one, and there you go.
Here's another question from Instagram. I like to put out one of these PSAs every season, but someone said, this is from Sam McGuitar. Not related to this case, but have you guys ever gotten an email or tips from the fan base on other cases? Not really, though we do get a lot of people who sometimes say, hey, this person in my town has gone missing. Or my friend can't find their aunt.
Yeah.
And you guys should do an episode about it. And I'd just like to remind everyone that we are, first and foremost, actors.
No, but seriously, we're not, even though we're not
seriously, actors, we're not detectives.
We're not investigators.
And we just, we make some yucks out of things, and we will not be able to help with current cases that are out there. And also, now we can't leave our homes, so even more so. Mikolina
Piotrowska, she says, hashtag postmortem, what about the dog? Maybe the lady was actually its owner. One more thing, if she was an out-of-towner, were there no hotel records of a woman like this? Greetings from Poland.
Poland! Hey! Never been. That's, you know, that's where I'm technically from. My ancestors were there. I don't know about the dog. I'm sure.
Good thing we snuck that in there.
I feel like they would. I feel like they would have known, because no one would have claimed the dog. I'm sure the dog ran to someone's house and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's that person's dog."
Also, I don't know. It said anywhere from 10 days to 3 weeks before the body was found. That would mean the dog was roaming free for 10 days.
I mean, dogs do that.
I mean, but if a dog
Ain't you ever seen Homeward Bound?
Well, okay, yeah, we all know the documentary Homeward Bound, but I am
there's two
saying
of
that,
them.
like, if a dog...
There's two. There's the first one, and then the second one, they get lost in, I believe it's San Francisco.
Yeah, it's possible, but I would think the dog, a house dog, would have trouble surviving for that long. Also, good point on the hotel records, probably something they should have checked if they didn't. I would imagine they did. Very small town, not a lot of hotel logs to check, so probably one of the first things I would do. But once again, I'm not an investigator, and I guess neither are you, but that's a good suggestion. So let's move on to the last question here. This is from YouTube. This comes from Cat Fondo. What is the dummy's, the mannequin's name? It has the best fashion on the show. Let's address the first part. The dummy's name is Crimey, the crime mannequin.
That's right.
It took us a long time to think of that one.
And the thing about the fashion,
the best
sense?
fashion
What
on
was
the
that?
show.
Get out of
Kind of
here.
feels like a low blow there. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't think we should do roast mortem this week because it's, you know, hey, let's just spread positivity. Go draw a happy picture and put it on your window for your neighbors to see. Do that
Also,
instead.
we've recorded for an enormous amount of time right now.
Yeah, we actually recorded for 4.5 hours. They'll whittle this down to a clean 25.
They'll take it down to a tight 15.
Ryan, what's coming up this week on BuzzFeed Unsolved True Crime Season 6, Episode 3?
Ooh, let's see. How do I? Let's just say that we take another nice trip down memory lane into the old times of Tinseltown.
I don't remember what this week's episode is.
Yeah, I suspected, but that's a good clue. And you know, we're running out of these old-timey Hollywood ones, so you know, if, maybe some of you entrepreneurial viewers out there might be able to put on your little investigator caps, or as Shane calls them, I always forget what the hell they're called, and then you figure it out.
Deer Stalker. All right, I think that about does it, right?
Yeah, I think that does it. That does it for this episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem. Make sure you watch the episode this Friday. Send in your questions to the BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page, the BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page, or comment directly on the video on Bun, and maybe you'll be in the next episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved. Even remotely, he's trying to ruin that outro, but you know what? I could block him out now, so it doesn't even matter. You hear that, Shane? I'm looking at you.
Cool. Well, we'll see you next week, everybody.